everybody, and welcome to yet another episode of Stacks in the City. I'm your humbled host, Ashley, and I want to thank you all so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule in your lives to listen to the show. We are continuing our topic on fashion and money and fashion month and really get into the thick of that. And I really wanted to take some time out to highlight local DC-based beauty bloggers, which I kind of don't like that phrase, but those who are leaders in the style industry and what they represent. So I have Tiffany Ingram featured on the show. She talks about curvy girl fashion, fashion in the workplace, and what's appropriate. And you all, what I really appreciate about her is that she's able to take regular fashion or things that you would think is regular. Like for me, y'all, I'm not a big workplace person. I don't like workplace fashion at all. I think it's boring. I think it's dry. I never dress well when it comes to me looking professional. But Tiffany is challenging my sentiment by talking about how you can pair colors and patterns and textures into your everyday working wardrobe. And she's been able to do that so well. We also have a little bit of a tizzy over Lizzo. Stay tuned to that. And the importance of finding style that works for you. You all, I'm all about looking great. I love a good step out moment. I love great fashion. I really do. But I do believe that you have to be very cognizant about where your money is going to when it comes to fashion. And Tiffany does a great job of giving us tangible tips that we can use to take home with us when we're done, y'all. We don't have to be up in H&M all the time. We don't have to do that all the time. So you all, without further ado, this is Tiffany Ingram of Policy and Fashion. And you all, sorry, one more thing. There is a lot of background noise, and I sincerely, profusely apologize. I knew that there was going to be a little bit of noise, and I thought it wouldn't be too bad, but it's definitely loud, and I do apologize about that, you all. I am definitely working on that. I'm going to get way more quieter places so that we can focus on only the interview and not necessarily listen to Whitney Houston in the background. So I apologize. She has great things to say. Y'all are amazing and fabulous, and without further ado, this is Tiffany Ingram of Policy and Fashion.
Oh, hello, everybody, and welcome to another amazing, phenomenal, spectacular, in the bacular episode of Stacks in the City. Hey, y'all, it's Ashley, and you guys, isn't it the best when I'm not alone? Aren't y'all tired of hearing my voice 24/7? I am here with Tiffany Ingram of Policy and Fashion, the phenomenal DC blogger. I don't like the word beauty blogger, y'all, but, just a fashion expert, on point, always on target, even when she's off. There's no off day with this woman. Anyway, Tiffany, hi.
Hey, everybody.
I'm so glad you're here. Also, y'all, we are on location. We are at the Coop in Northwest Washington, D.C. Come through. Super cute. Not sponsored. Yeah, come through. Not sponsored. Cute little coffee. Y'all don't drink coffee. I don't know if y'all know that. I'm having a little cider. A little sippy sip. Anyway. Tiffany, thank you so much for volunteering to come out, your busy schedule, your busy life, to talk to little old us about your fashion and your money.
Thanks so much for having me, Ashley.
Oh, Tiffany. So, we are in Fashion Month. As you know, we are talking about ways to save money and still look fashionable. We're talking about luxury, and if that's even possible, to be financially sound and want to buy that fancy bag, want to buy that trench coat. So we're just in the fashion game. Mm-hmm. And when I think about fashion, you are truly one of the first people I think of. Always fashionable. Even so-called off days, off looks, you always make it work for you. Always. So tell me a little bit about your fashion journey. Have you always been really fashionable? Do you like clothing? Has it always been natural to you?
I definitely want to say that since like a little kid, I've loved fashion. There are pictures of me like 4 years old with a purse. I think I had like
What was in that purse, Tiffany?
Just random things. You know how you just write up random sheets of paper and fold it up in your purse? People give you $1 from like church, you put it in your purse. And then I've had lip gloss from an early age, so I remember like my aunt would put red lipstick on me. I would beg and beg and beg, so she finally at 4 or 5, I was wearing a red lip. So I've had a red lip for a while. And I have always loved clothing and putting things together and looking nice. But I think that is like the Detroit girl in me. Like, we Midwest people love to look fashionable, and I think it was really important to make sure that you looked the part all the time, like you looked put together, and I feel like that was instilled in an early age.
So fashion has always kind of been fabricated to you. It's always been a part of you. Mm-hmm. So Tiffany, how did you start building a wardrobe? So for me, when I think of people who are fashionable, or even people who aren't, they have just a lot of clothes, have a big closet full of clothes, but they're not necessarily putting pieces together. How were you able to do that?
I think it's really about knowing what you like to wear and know where you have to go. So, and being like cognizant of that, right? So if you know that you're always going to these fabulous shows and fabulous events, then maybe you have several sequin dresses and skirts and fancy shoes in your closet. But if you know the basics that work for you, you know your body type. I've been able to build a wardrobe based off the things that I like. And then making sure you're not just impulse buying, that it is, you think about cost per wear. How often are you going to wear this item when you're shopping? Thinking before you invest that you need to at least be able to wear that piece 3 different ways before you three.
Describe these 3 different ways.
So if you really want to splurge on like some white booties, everyone's wearing these white booties out now. Where would you wear them to? What items in your closet that you have already can go with those white booties? If you in your mind are like, I have to invest in these shoes and I have no shirt, I have no skirt, I have no pants to match, then maybe this is not a safe leap for you. But if you're like, oh no, these booties will go with a skirt, a dress, a blazer that I already have, I know how I'm going to integrate it, then maybe you can make that purchase. Buying things on a whim that you are not sure are going to work for your personal lifestyle, buying 4-inch heels when maybe you know you don't go out to fancy places often, or you're taking the train to work, or you're biking to work, that may not be the best investment for you.
Interesting. So for me, it sounds like each piece in your wardrobe has to be thoughtfully curated. It has to be an intention behind what you're buying and why.
It has to be purposeful. It has to serve a purpose. You have to know where you're going, how you want to look, and how this all fits together. You can't just buy things just to, oh, this is cute because I saw it on the mannequin at the mall. How are you going to wear it? How does it make you feel? Is it making you feel comfortable and confident each and every time that you wear it? Does it fit well? Is it, or do you need extra tailoring or things to make it fit the best? But being thoughtful on how you pick your pieces, because you don't want to get in this fast fashion loop where you're wearing shirts just for a day and then throwing it away, because that's not good with the environment either.
Interesting. So a lot of people have issues with finding something that works for them, or they're just buying. I see people buying the same thing over and over again because they don't know what's in their closet, or they don't have a personal style. But to me, it sounds like the first way to start is by assessing your everyday lifestyle. Is that correct?
That's the first step. It's just the first step. Knowing where you want to go, understanding what you have in your closet already, because that's a big deal too. Doing a closet audit to make sure you're not buying the same pair of jeans or same style of jeans or the same style. How many black and white striped shirts do you really need? Making sure you don't already have that item, and figuring out the places that you want to go and how you want to look in those environments. So starting there and then finding pieces that work for you after that.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like shopping in your closet first.
Shop your closet. We don't have money to be at Saks Fifth Avenue every weekend. Shop your closet first.
That sounds fun to me. I want to go to H&M.
You can go when you figure out what you want.
I feel that these stores, like your H&M, your Zara, even online stores, are able to curate their store is so inviting. It makes you want to buy something in there, from my opinion. Like I've talked about in previous episodes about when you go into a store, you see these focal items, these dummies, but then you see the basics right beside it. You know you're going to gravitate toward that. And to me, it's like, when I go in there, I'm not even one to want to purchase things. I feel incentivized to buy things at these stores versus my closet. My closet is small. My closet's not, it's kind of dark. I don't feel incentivized to go in there. What do you have to say about that? How can we organize our closet in a way that makes it more inviting? Because I feel like half the battle is they do a good job with the lighting and the merchandising that makes you want to buy.
I think for people who have some lighting issues in their closet, I don't know, the random 1-800 shop things where you have the push lights. I know some people who literally have attached those like inside their closet, so you can kind of push and see what's in there. You push the light, you can actually see what's in your closet. But doing that closet audit, Marie Kondo, she kind of told us we need to find joy in the things that we have. If we don't have joy in our closet, then we don't feel good when we get dressed in the morning. So looking to see what are those items that don't fit anymore, those items that may need to be repaired. Do you need a hem on some pants? Are you missing buttons on your shirt or blazer? Looking at that. And then organizing shirts from like sleeveless to short sleeve to long sleeve. Organizing your dresses, organizing jeans from non-distressed to distressed, so you can easily look for that work pair of jeans versus your weekend day party pair of jeans, because you can't have your thigh all out at work. So kind of knowing what you have and organizing what you have is important, and really being aware of, okay, these are some items I may want to purchase. You're only doing that after you realize what you have.
Got it. So it's one thing that you, at least in my opinion, you pride yourself on is not only being a fashion-forward woman, but also being in the plus-size curvy girl realm, advocating for that, advocating for women who may not necessarily have been featured in fashion, even honestly, even in like internet on what do you call those?
Instagram.
Yeah, yes. On Instagram, or when you're scrolling on like a website on ASOS, you may not necessarily see women that represent your body type. How have you been able to find fashion in a world of, as you all say, street sizes?
I think for me, it's just like finding brands that have items that I love. So of course I love ASOS, I love Eloquii, I love Loft. But I think for me,
these are all. Would these be? I'm sorry to interrupt. Would these be all sizes that, or would they cater to all sizes, to all ranges, to all shapes?
ASOS, yes. Eloquii starts at 14. They're 14 to 26.
Okay.
And then Loft has anything from like 00 petite to like a size 24. So not every store has Loft Plus, but they're always online. And then ASOS does a really good job of, I think, catering for everybody, from petites, curve, maternity, men, everything. I think it depends on what your price point is. I think for me, what I want to do on my Instagram platform is just really show people that you can be plus size and you can still look beautiful, and that plus size doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have everything out. I think a lot of people look at people like Lizzo. While I'm all for the body positivity, I don't think that you won't come to my page and just see my breasts out and my booty out and my stomach out. And I just don't think that that's the only way to get a like on Instagram. I think that you can have a more conservative look and you can still be sexy. And I think I want girls to see in particular that you can be curvy and you don't always have to have everything out for people to like what you have on.
Interesting. Because for me, I feel like and it's funny, with Lizzo particularly, I feel like I support, anybody who's out here being confident and doing them and they're in their own lane. It doesn't matter what it looks like. If you do that, I support it. Do your thing. I think, to me, it's like she does this as a counter to what thinner girls do. Which is, they're always naked and no one seems to have an issue with that. But it's like, well, look at me, she gets more attention because of that. I think it really is, for her, it's more of a confidence thing.
Yeah, and I'm all down for the confidence, but I want everyday women to understand that Lizzo, Nicki Minaj, Beyonce, they are all entertainers. Cardi B is getting paid to wear what she is wearing. Lizzo is getting paid to have this kind of brand. That's who they are. But for the everyday working woman at your government job, at your nonprofit job, or in a classroom, you can't wear that. So I really want to be able to provide women an example to look fashionable, but also look classy. And it may not be that you're going to see everything out, because we are working women in a professional environment, and like all these other people are performers, and in the entertainment industry, that is their brand. They get paid to look the way that they do. But I really want to provide inspiration to the everyday woman.
Tiffany, you do. I think you truly do that. Your style game is out of control. It's out of control.
You're so silly.
But at the same time, it's very pragmatic, which is ironic. But I think you have a great understanding of color, and of pattern and texture, and how that can go together to curate a look.
Yeah.
How do you instill confidence in women who, even in, because I'm a straight size, fun fact. How do you, and I do believe that over time it is getting better in terms of more options for all sizes, in terms of colors, in terms of fits. Again, tell me if I'm wrong, but it seems like to me it's, if you have something that you want to hide, you wear the black cardigan. Mm-hmm. Black is a very, very popular color for women for many reasons. Yeah. It seems like to me we've been taught to hide our bodies as opposed to really celebrating them. How have you been able to do that? What makes you not gravitate toward a neutral color? Because even when I see Tiffany getting off from work, and she works in a pretty professional workplace, you're not wearing neutrals. You're wearing colors and patterns.
Yeah, I really think that, particularly for plus size women, for the longest, it wasn't an option for all these pattern mixing and colors. It was, what was available was black. Ashley Stewart and Adeline Bryant, they're pushing that now. I think the fashion industry is evolving to realize that plus size women want to wear prints. They want to wear color. And while I love a good black look sometimes, I love colors, I love patterns, I love prints. And I really want to make sure women see they can wear that at work. It can work for you in a professional environment.
You won't get looks and stares?
People look at me sometimes at work and they're like, I like how you did that. I would be scared to do it myself, but I like it on you. Yeah. So then, like, you see people trying to come out of their shell more like, oh, I wore a polka dot shirt, Tiffany. I thought about you today because I wore this and I've been having it for a while, but I never wore it. So finding your own ways to push the envelope, even when mainstream media may say that because you're plus you have to cover up. I think there's ways to dress and be tasteful and not be tacky. I think that it is important for people to be seen, and I think sometimes people think they have to shrink themselves, maybe because of their size or anything like that, and you don't. You want to still take up that space and feel confident and feel comfortable in who you are every day.
Guys, I told you, this woman truly embodies all things fabulous, nothing below. So Tiffany, you're also, as we said before, yes, you are in the style space, but you're also in the career space. So you spend a lot of time, again, working in this professional setting and having to wear the clothing that is considered professional. What is a professional wardrobe for a woman who may or may not be curvy, who doesn't know where to start?
Fit matters over anything. So fit matters over anything. So if you want to find a standard black pant or a standard black blazer, that's fine. Just make sure that it fits. So when you're talking about
what does something that fit looks like? What does that mean?
Making sure that for someone making sure that it fits in the waist, that it's pants are not too tight, making sure pants are not too long if you need to get them hemmed. I'm 5'3", so I always need to get something hemmed. Making sure that your button-up shirts are fitting in the middle. If you know you have a larger bust, maybe needing to size up or maybe needing to take it to the seamstress to make sure that it is fit to your body.
I'm sensitive about going sizes up.
I think for me, just throw the size thing out of the window. You want to focus on fit, because no one is walking around with their size on their chest like, I'm a size 2, and showing it to the world. No one's asking you, walking up to you randomly on the street, what size is your shirt, what size is your dress. If they are, they need to get out your face. People are going to compliment you for how things fit. And they're not going to be like, girl, you had to size up 2 sizes for that. Like, really focus on fit for you and don't really look at the number, and understand that clothing designers make stuff to fit the most amount of people, not to fit your body. They're trying to fit the average person or the vast majority of people in a particular range. So if you pick up a size 14 at H&M, looks different from a 14 at Zara, looks different from a 14 at Lane Bryant or Eloquii or Loft, and understand that every designer is making things differently.
Y'all hear that? Throw the size out the window. It's basic sizing for you versus you fitting into a size.
For you, men are not walking around saying, oh, I have to get this certain size blazer or suit. They're going to the tailor and getting things to fit their body. So the average professional man is seeing a tailor at some point multiple times a year, because when they buy a suit, they're not getting the suit straight from Macy's and wearing it out to work. They know, yes, I may have got a deal at Macy's, but I still have to go to the tailor to get it fit for me. So I want women to kind of starting to get in that mindset as well, that buying something straight off the rack does not mean it's going to automatically fit you perfectly.
That's fantastic, Tiffany. See, y'all, I'm telling you, I've been in this fashion game maybe like 2 years, maybe. I haven't always been most fashionable, y'all, but Tiffany to me truly embodies what it is to be a fashionable woman. You guys don't even understand how to control. Anyway, I'll share my fun story in the intro. Now, my last piece I want to talk about is money. So this is a podcast all about money. We talk about saving money, getting this money right, all that fun stuff. What if you are, imagine, like, let's just backtrack to when you were 22 years old and you first got this internship or a job, even in undergrad. You got this job, internship at a really reputable place, but you don't have the wardrobe or the money per se to really be adequately prepared. What is your advice to these women? How can they start building a wardrobe?
Don't be afraid of the thrift store. Like, go to Goodwill. I've gotten some amazing
Thrift store.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I've got some amazing blazers that, depending on what neighborhood you go to, right? If you go to the suburbs where the more wealthy people live, when they give away their clothes, it's name brand clothes. So you could get a quality blazer that is made with quality materials, because back in the day they used real fabric. So I've been able to get like wool blazers and all types of nice knits and sweaters and things like that for a very low cost, like under $20.
Really?
So go try out the Goodwill in your area, maybe the one in the suburbs that may have more wealthy folks giving away their clothes.
Potomac, y'all.
Yeah, I didn't say it, she did, but somewhere, wherever you are in the world, trying to find a good like vintage store or Goodwill would be a good way to start your wardrobe. Of course, whatever you do buy from a H&M or even the Target, they have good options, but making sure that you're taking care of the items. So if they are machine washable, making sure you have it on the right temperature, making sure you're hanging up things to dry, and try to stick towards machine washable stuff versus things that have to go to the dry cleaners, because that's an extra expense, because you actually need to wash clothes the way they say it on the label. It's not, you get to think of it yourself. If they say machine wash cold, if it says dry clean only, like, that's what you actually have to do. So starting small is fine, but making sure you're taking care of the items when you do acquire them is important for longevity.
And, it's so interesting, Tiffany. To me, you talk about clothes like caring for a child or for an animal or for a plant even. Yeah, shout outs to the plant mommies and daddies out there. It's, the clothing, from the way you describe it, it's so much deeper than just buying something off a rack and wearing it, or like you said, maybe throwing it away because it stretches too quickly. It's like every piece has a story, and it has a way to, there's a way that you have to care for it in order for it to last.
Yeah, it does. And when you don't care for it properly, that's when you're like, oh, my shirt has a hole in it, or it's ripping, or it's looking thin. you have to take care of your clothes because it's your investment. Like, money does not grow on trees.
No, it doesn't.
So if you're starting out, that is an option. If you are more early in your career or mid-career, if you absolutely love getting new items all the time, try a rental service. Try something like Rent the Runway so you can get designer stuff, and you can get it as many times as throughout the month that you like for their subscription. So it gives you an opportunity to feel like you're always getting something new. You get designer stuff. You don't have to worry about washing it, and you just get to send it back.
And that's what I feel like what clothing companies have done mentally for us. It's never enough. We're always really not even recycling, throwing something away because we want something new. So it's kind of adhering to that mentality.
Yeah.
But you're still being a little bit more eco-friendly.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And that, I do think that's pretty important nowadays in terms of, reducing the carbon footprint in our clothing, you all, is really important. Awesome. Well, Tiffany, is there anything else that you want to share with our listeners, my peoples?
Style starts with you. It's not about looking like me or Michelle Obama or Tracy Ellis Ross, Rihanna, all the amazing women that women say they always like their outfits. It's really starting with you. You are your own style goals.
You are your own style goals. I'm going to write that down. Tiffany Ingram, thank you so much for being on the show. You guys, live episode.
Yes.
Come on in. Thank you.
Yes, follow me on Instagram at Policy and Fashion.
Yes, you guys, please follow her at Policy and Fashion for all things style. You guys, I'm telling you, out of control style, out of control tips for the workplace. This truly is a DC woman. When you think of DC woman, you close your eyes, you're going to come up with Policy and Fashion Tiffany Ingram. Thank you so much. So true. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley, for having me.
So fabulous.